Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Gusto product tour. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Priya Patel. I'm on the partner marketing team here at Gusto. I've been here for about 2 years now, and my goal is to educate and engage as many accountants about Gusto and the benefits of Gusto as possible. And joining me is Elliot Shearer, who is a partner advisor.
Hello, everybody. Elliot Shearer here. I've been with Gusto for just under 2 years, and I work with our partner advising team, specifically with accountants, business consultants, technology advisors, helping them understand the benefits of Gusto as well as how it can bring a lot of value to your clients.
Great. We'll go ahead and kick this off. In terms of the agenda today, we're going to go through an overview of Gusto, do a product demo, which is going to take the primary bulk of the time today because we want you to see the product live and be able to ask as many questions as you may have about the product or anything else about Gusto following the live demo with the Q&A. Just a couple of housekeeping items. First is that we love questions. So you can go ahead and use the question or chat window on your screen to submit any questions, and we'll address them during the Q&A at the end. As well, we are recording this webinar, so you'll receive a recording via email after the webinar. And just a quick check, can everyone hear me? Can you please comment or ask a comment in the question section if you cannot hear me? Okay, it looks like we're good on that front. So we'll continue the presentation. So I just want to give a quick overview of Gusto. Gusto, we work with over 3,000 partners, primarily accountants, bookkeepers, as well as business consultants and general business advisors to small businesses. We also work with over 40,000 small businesses across the country, across industries, and we process billions of dollars of payroll. We also have a strong love from partners such as Xero and QuickBooks. We have a lot of pro advisors on our platform. We're the #1 rated payroll app in the Xero marketplace and the #1 add-on actually for Xero as well. We're also very proud to have received in the past the CPA Practice Advisors Reader's Choice Award. But most importantly, our partners who continually trust us with their clients, we've actually doubled our customers from partners in the last 18 months. So in terms of Gusto, I just want to give you a little bit of background about why we developed this product in the first place. We really wanted to solve a problem. And the problem, so there were 3 problems specifically that inspired our founders to build this product that started with payroll and has now expanded into HR as well as health insurance. The first is that there's a tremendous amount of pain and manual process in how businesses build their teams today. So with Gusto, we really want to bring peace of mind to businesses. It should not be a painful process to bring on new employees and pay them. The second is that a lot of businesses might, especially the larger ones, might think of people as ID numbers. We here at Gusto feel that businesses are not simply transactions, they're a group of people. So we're out there to really build real relationships between, not only with our customers, but between employers and their employees, and between partners and their clients. The third is that we want people to practice good financial behavior. This is a topic that is really important to our mission as well, and our goal is to bring personal prosperity to everyone. And so how do we do this? Well, our product is really tied to these 3 pillars. So as it comes to peace of mind, this is where our payroll product really comes into play, as well as some of these other features like integrated workers' comp and I-9 collection and app. On the community side, we offer integrated health benefits. So health benefits integrated with payroll, as well as other HR features like employee self-onboarding and surveys for the team to understand how they're feeling and potentially be able to flag any issues from an employee happiness perspective. And then for personal prosperity, we want employees to have easy access to savings products. So we offer integrated low-fee 401k and 529 college savings accounts to help parents save for college. We're really excited about these two, and this is something we're proud of because it's normally not available for small businesses. So why do partners choose Gusto? I think here's a quote from Doug Sleater. Some of you guys might know him. He's been a partner of ours since the beginning, about 5 years ago. Essentially, we're a full-service payroll solution, so we automate all of the federal, state, and local filing. We provide US-based support when you need it, so every one of our partners has a dedicated partner advisor. We also offer, of course, modern and intuitive payroll software, which Elliot's going to demo in detail shortly. And then lastly, you can save hundreds of hours a year. One of our partners said she saves over 300 hours per year serving her 50 payroll clients by using Gusto. That's 50 full business days. And we really want to be there for our partners and enable them to free up their time so they could spend their time being their clients' business advisors in more value-added areas. We also integrate with various leading small business apps, as I mentioned, Xero and QuickBooks, as well as FreshBooks. We offer integrations with various time tracking software as well, such as Deputy, T-Sheets, When I Work, and then Receipt Bank on the expense management front. Our pricing is very transparent. The list price is $39 per month and $6 per employee. It's billed monthly and there are no contracts. So this you can kind of be rest assured that this will always be the fixed amount that you'll be paying. And this includes everything. So at no extra cost, you'll never have to pay extra for any filings or per payroll. This is unlimited payrolls, all federal, state, and local filings. We take care of all the W-2s and 1099s as well. We also have perks that are exclusive to our partners through our partner program. Here's just a kind of a snapshot of some of the primary perks. So depending on how many clients that you have added to your partner dashboard, which again, Elliot will share with you in a moment, but depending on how many clients you add to Gusto, you are eligible for a volume discount or a revenue share, anywhere from 10 up to 20% of that price that I just showed you, the $39 plus $6 per employee. So you can offer to pass that along to your clients in the form of a discount or get a check every quarter to your firm or to you individually. We also offer, as I mentioned, dedicated support in the form of a dedicated account manager. We offer free migration services. So we will take care of all the heavy lifting as you move any clients from another payroll provider over to Gusto, and we do that free of charge year-round. Now is actually a really great time. If you run payroll for a new client by June, we'll take care of all of the quarterly filings. And we also offer free payroll for your practice. So we want to put our money where our mouth is and really give our partners the chance to experience our payroll product as well for free. And then as you become a bronze partner and add 3 clients, you get access to free marketing collateral and support. As you reach kind of the silver and gold tiers, you get access to VIP care, which is our white glove customer care service, as well as co-branding in-app, so you can add your logo within Gusto. So every time if you have your clients going into Gusto for whatever reason, either to run payroll or to enter in hours, they will see your logo, not only in the app, but also on the invoices and emails that they get from Gusto if they are being billed directly by Gusto. We of course offer the ability for to bill partners directly if they want to work with their clients on payroll themselves. And then as a gold partner, we have a partner spotlight on Gusto.com. So we have a page that features all of our gold partners. As I mentioned, we work with over 40,000 small businesses, and we often do get requests from our small business customers for accountants if we have any recommendations for accountants. So we drive any small businesses who are asking about accountant services to this page. So these are kind of, this is a snapshot of the benefits that you get as a Gusto partner. And with that, we can go into the product demo. I'll hand it off to Elliot to get started. In terms of what we're going to demo today, we're going to demo the partner dashboard, how to add clients, and then how to run payroll. So with that, we'll just go into the product.
Excellent. Thank you, Priya. So what we have here is the partner dashboard. This would be really your home base as a partner using Gusto, able to manage multiple clients in one place, as well as add clients for setup. We also have alerts and upcoming payroll deadlines on the right to make sure we keep you in the loop as far as any upcoming tasks or activities that might need to be done in these individual clients. Scrolling down here to the bottom, this is where we actually be able to add a new client. We'd be able to elect whether or not we'd manage payroll for this client, or we would just be referring them out and not need access for reports or things of that nature. We'd also be able to choose whether or not the company had processed payroll thus far this year, ultimately choosing whether or not Gusto would handle potential unpaid tax liabilities for a client and then a quarterly filing. Billing method as well can be elected. So we were going to bill the client directly. We'd be able to do so here, as well as if you wanted to bill the partner, bill yourself, and then have the discount passed on to you and your own firm. Canceling out of that, we'll actually scroll to the top of the partner dashboard and go to the left. Over here, we have all the different aspects of this Gusto experience for the partner. We have the directory, which is where you would be able to manage access rights to different clients and the individuals at your own firm, as well as take a look at the partner program. Clicking into that now, you're able to track where you are as far as the different tiers of the program, and the clients then reflected into each of these. As Priya mentioned earlier, we have the bronze, silver, and gold tier, and you'd be able to track your progress through each of these, and also the savings or discount or revenue share amount reflected for each tier. You can also see companies that are currently in setup here and the reward type elected, as well as partner program eligible clients and a reward type as well displayed. If for some reason you initially set up a client and had the discount set to yourself, but maybe the client wanted to take over payroll services and therefore you're going to adjust that billing method to the client, scrolling up here to the left, we'll go into the billing tab. This is where you'd be able to adjust anything regarding billing for these clients, as well as scrolling to the bottom, review the billing history as well as past invoices for the Gusto service. One of our main goals is to be as transparent as possible with the cost as well as what you are receiving as a partner. So really giving you the tools and empowerment to choose and dictate how you'd like to utilize the program. It's one of our main objectives here at Gusto. Going back to the left-hand side and clicking into the dashboard, let's actually scroll down past the companies that require setup and go into the bookstore. I believe they have a payroll that needs to be processed today. Excellent. So we've just moved a layer deeper into a specific client. And while we were at the partner dashboard before, now we're on the client-specific dashboard. All things and activities, tasks that are required here are unique to this one specific client. We have reminders on the right, including the upcoming bank holiday, as well as a recent payroll that was processed. Under the things that we need to accomplish today, we do have that Memorial Day payroll that can be processed. We'll go ahead and click into that task now and get that taken care of. When running payroll, there are 4 steps into this process, this workflow. The first one is reporting any hours for hourly employees, as well as reviewing additional earnings or compensation amounts for your employees that you'll be paying for this work period. We have a mix of salaried as well as hourly workers here, as well as some that already are set with additional earnings that were defaulted on their employee records. We'll review that later. One thing that Gusto has in place is if you were to adjust these additional earnings or hours, we'll actually automatically modify the gross pay in real time to give you a quick snapshot as to what to expect from a gross pay perspective. One reason we do this is if for some reason there was a key entry error, maybe an extra 0 was inputted, it'd be very easy and very quick for you to identify this early on in the payroll process versus after it's already been submitted, in which case you would need to cancel and make the correction that could be done before even being submitted. As far as the additional earning types that are available, we do have commission pay, any correction payment amount, maybe a bonus, as well as far as other earnings go, tips that could be more common in the service industry. Reimbursements can also be added here, as well as if you wanted to change from a direct deposit payment method to check payment method, or if there's an owner on payroll, they would be able to be skipped if they decide not to take a payroll for a specific schedule. We'll go ahead and move it back to direct deposit, and everything looks good. So we'll go ahead and click Save and Continue. The next step is recording any vacation and sick days for this work period. One thing that Gusto does allow for, and this falls more under the HR functionality of the platform, is if you wanted to set up time off, vacation or sick time requests where an employee would be able to go in and submit this request to a manager that's been assigned in Gusto. They would be able to do that, and then if approved, that time off would automatically fill in this step of the run payroll process. If for some reason there was a modification, of course you can change that. Instead of 8 hours, it was 12, and it would automatically calculate that deduction in the accrued hours, showing here the hours that are remaining for this employee. After the 12-hour adjustment, everything looks good. We'll click Save and Continue. And when we're calculating the payroll here, that is when we're really doing the heavy lifting around all the tax calculations that have been set in Gusto. And sure enough, we have produced that preview. This gives you a chance to see what the company pays based off gross company taxes and looking at that subtotal as well as total payroll amount. But furthermore, if we wanted to click into what is actually going to be taxed or debited, we could have this drop down and look at the total by employee for taxes as well as company and the breakout of that. And then looking at exactly what Gusto will be debiting, the total direct deposit amount as well as any taxes, both employee and employer. With that, we do have a cash requirement summary report here that if you wanted to have it sent out or emailed to a client, you'd be able to do so, to have them confirm the payroll prior to submission. We also have the preview for what the employees will actually be taking home. So this is the gross to net breakdown, again, as kind of a quick snapshot and a preview to the payroll. Everything does look good here, so we'll go ahead and click Submit Payroll and get this finished up. Excellent. The payroll's been submitted. We have the summary here of what we just did, the employee pay date as well as that total payroll amount. A full summary available, and of course we can resync this to QuickBooks Online if we wanted to, but we do have an automatic sync already set up. So this journal information will be pushed to our general ledger that we have in place and connected to Gusto. If for some reason we missed an error and needed to make a correction, we could always cancel this payroll, go back, and just make that specific correction in the first or second screen of the payroll processing experience. Everything is automatically saved in Gusto, so we wouldn't have to go in and re-enter information for every line. It would just be going back and correcting that one specific item that you needed to make an adjustment on. Now that payroll's been processed, that was really the bulk of what we needed to do today. However, I kind of want to go back and look at the Employee tab over here on the left under People. And specifically, I want to show that we can do something called Employee Self-Service Onboarding, where we would hire a new employee, going to add an employee under Hire, and if we wanted to invite a new employee to onboard and input their own details, really alleviating the need for an administrator of the system, as well as, which could be either a partner or a business owner, inputting that data, actually inviting the employee to do it directly from themselves. All that would be required is the name, hire date, work address, email, and then any compensation information here. And then by checking this box, ultimately inviting this employee to enter their own details online. The employee self-service experience is something that we pride ourselves here at Gusto on. And the goal is to not only improve accuracy, but also reduce labor spent in managing that sort of aspect of a business, allowing either the business owner or you, the partner, to focus more on higher value activities, as well as managing your own business or other services. Clicking into one of these employee records, such as Vincent here, we're able to review anything from the work address, compensation amount, which would also allow us to add any additional earnings, payment methods, federal tax, as well as state tax information, and reviewing any post-tax deduction, as well as reimbursements. All of these things can be managed directly on the employee record and adjusted at any time. Employees also have the ability to access their own profiles, in which case they'd be able to log in. For instance, maybe if they got married, an employee got married, they could make the adjustment to their allowances, as well as filing status, scrolling back down here, federal taxes, versus submitting a request to a partner or a business owner to then make the adjustment, in which cases they may even need to contact a payroll provider to do so. The employee has the ability in Gusto to do it all directly from themselves. Now, moving over here to the left, I did want to highlight that Gusto also has Contractor or 1099 payment functionality. So a lot of individuals will end up having a contractor, either an individual or a vendor, a business, potentially. And Gusto is able to handle payments for these. And what we would do then, similar to a W-2 at the end of the year, is produce that 1099 on behalf of the business for that individual or vendor. Time off, as mentioned in the Run Payroll processing experience, it is something that can be set up and applied to all the employees here in the Time Off tab. Furthermore, when looking at time off requests being activated for employees, that's something that would automatically be sent to a manager and then would fill into the work period that it would be associated with. So again, trying to remove things that have been typically tracked, in some cases, just by hand on paper and pencil, in which cases sometimes disputes could arise, and it's also a headache to manage. Gusto is really trying to make a goal here as to become more of that back office business application for all things people related, managed in one place. With that and that HR type functionality, benefits has become a larger piece of Gusto, specifically health, 401k, as well as the 529 college savings. You're able to set up all of these benefits in Gusto, either as something that would be managed through the platform, or as an external benefit that Gusto would handle for tax and payroll purposes and apply to the individuals. Now, moving into benefits a bit further, workers' compensation is something that a lot of business owners will typically not consider and sometimes not actually really know that it's a requirement for them, of course, depending on the state that they're in and the amount of employees they have. Gusto makes it incredibly easy for you to not only apply for a quote and get an estimation on workers' compensation, but also getting it integrated with Gusto. So it's not even a payment they would have to worry about. We have a relationship with our partner, AP Intego, who actually writes the policies and has it set up where it's a pay-as-you-go policy, freeing up a bunch of cash flow for the business. As payroll is processed and/or employees are added or subtracted to the system, the workers' compensation policy will automatically reflect that and therefore increase or decrease the amount based off the work being done as well as the number of employees set in Gusto, therefore alleviating the need for a year-end audit as well as ensuring compliance done through the system. Gusto will also file new hire reports, which can be elected when employees are being added to the system. It's something we do for the states. Again, this can sometimes come back as being a compliance issue, and again, very easily alleviated by using Gusto and opting for us to handle these on behalf of the business. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, this is all great. Running payroll is pretty straightforward. We're able to add employees, a lot of self-service functionality. But what about reports? What about the ability to look back on summaries of the payroll individually, as well as scrolling down a bit further, being able to see contract payments, as well as manage these set reports? Now, we've defined the 9 most common reports used within Gusto. And the one reason we went with 9 is we've actually built it out to be dynamic. Clicking the payroll journal, this is a payroll journal report, but within that, we're able to select specific reporting dates, as well as years, and choose advanced options here. So in some cases, this could be 8 reports, but we've decided to make it 1 and giving the administrator, the partner, whoever's really accessing this, the ability to adjust and modify these reports as needed and as they see fit for their own practice. Company details tab on the left, of course, goes through and shows all of the information associated with this business: pay schedule, locations, bank account information, federal tax setup, state tax information, as well as the company's signatory or officer of the company. Similar to some of the employee self-service, the administrator, of course, has the ability to make this adjustment if, for instance, they find out that their state unemployment rate has changed, or maybe they've added a new work field in a different state. That would automatically be populated and generated here, and then prompt you, of course, with help articles and instructions on where you would actually be able to go in and register for new information for a state. Of course, Gusto is able to also assist and advise as to where to be gone and kind of access this information, as well as generate its tax IDs. And on the left under settings, you're able to adjust collaborators and giving team access or sometimes internal business owner access to these accounts, as well as this is where you would set up the accounting software integration with QuickBooks or Xero or FreshBooks. You're also able to utilize some specific functionality around what we call our toppings. These are almost seen as kind of special functions that can be elected, such as multiple pay schedules if you had worker types on different pay schedules. An example, hourly workers being paid weekly could be on one schedule, and salaried workers being paid twice a month could be on another, as well as setting up what we call payroll on autopilot. This is a function for non-variable payrolls that will actually allow you to set a payroll up that will automatically process on the specific schedule that you have set. You would still get an email alert the day before payroll is set to be processed, but what it would do then is automatically process it, and you wouldn't have to even go into Gusto to potentially submit the payroll. course, you still could if you need to make an adjustment, maybe add a quarterly bonus, but otherwise the payroll will run automatically. Teams and departments can also be set up here for various locations within a business, as well as different teams. And also time off requests, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, something where an employee could actually request time off, a manager would approve, and then it would automatically fill in that specific step of the run payroll process. Now, I know we covered over a few things today, but I would like to emphasize the speed and ease in which payroll can be processed on Gusto. That's really the core, the foundation of the system, is this full service payroll experience. The fact that Gusto was built on a specific technology that allows us to not necessarily rely on a mobile application to access it, but it can be accessed from the browser anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Payroll is often run from the beach by many of our partners. And it's something that will automatically adhere to any device you use, whether it's a laptop, a tablet, or a cell phone. As long as you have internet access and a browser, you can log into Gusto from anywhere and run payroll as well as check in on a business. The easy use of payroll, the self-service aspect of the employees, reducing time spent managing, ultimately this section of the business from either you or the business owner, as well as the strong relationship with our accounting partners, FreshBooks, Xero, and QuickBooks. With that, I'll gladly turn it back over to Priya to go through the rest of the presentation.
Great. So we're actually, thank you, Elliot. We're actually going to now take questions. So let's go ahead and look at the questions that folks submitted. How long do you have between submitting a payroll to cancel the submission?
Sure. So our direct deposit cutoff is 4 p.m. Pacific time. As long as payroll has been submitted and then canceled prior to 4 p.m. Pacific time on the day that it is processed, and of course the period prior to deposit, you would be able to cancel it. With that said, you have up until the business day prior to depositing, prior to Gusto depositing the payroll, to actually have us make an adjustment to it as well. So we have kind of a dual prong approach where we're able to cancel it up into when the direct deposit deadline happens. And then if you need to make adjustment after that, our support and care team, as well as our advisors, can assist and ensure that is done timely for you.
Great, thanks, Elliot. Another question was, how much do the toppings cost? So the additional services, like, I assume this is like HR features, like I-9 collection, health insurance, 401k, paid time off requests. Everything is included in the one flat monthly price of $39 per month plus $6 per employee. So this is kind of core to our mission. We want our pricing to be transparent. We don't want people to be surprised by tacking on fees for additional payroll runs or for contractors or for additional features. So you never have to worry about having to pay extra for these benefits.
So the toppings don't cost extra. I'd agree. That's great.
Yeah. Let's see. This is a bit more granular, but it's around payroll. How much time lead time do we need to submit a payroll? So that would be 4 days. And depending on the client, we also offer our certain partners a 2-day payroll processing as well, so more expedited processing. Another question was, is an email address a requirement when adding an employee? I believe so, but Elliot, do you know?
Yeah, so an email is only required if an employee is going to be accessing their own profile on Gusto, or if you're electing for self-onboarding, in which which case we would send that invitation to the email address that has been inputted in Gusto. Otherwise, if they're not going to have access to the account, or if you wanted to just set it up and maybe add it later in the future, you would have the ability to do that.
Great. And then one more question around Gusto 401k. How do we get more information on 401k and what's the cost? In terms of more information on 401k, if you go to gusto.com, we do have a page all about our 401k offering. The great thing about the offering is we offer the lowest priced 401k plans in the industry. We partner with a provider that essentially has similar to Gusto in mission, but wants to make kind of this industry that's relied on fees a bit more transparent. So your clients' employees would never have to pay an assets under management percentage or fee. They would just pay a flat monthly participant fee per participant of $8. So it's a flat fee that per participant that companies have to pay. They don't have to worry about any hidden assets under management or other fees.
And then participants don't have to pay anything, right? Which I think Guideline just made the adjustment on. So that definitely is the lowest in the industry. Participants don't pay anything.
Just the employer pays the $8. And then we had one other question about health insurance. If a client has health insurance through another broker, can they still run payroll with Gusto? Yes, of course they can. As Elliot demonstrated, they can simply add the deductions for their health insurance within Gusto. But the benefit of having Gusto either manage a new plan or transfer benefits to Gusto is that all the deductions are automated. So it just leads to less errors and more time savings for everyone. Any other questions? Let's see. Does Gusto offer an open API? This must be someone who is an engineer out there listening. We actually don't offer an open API, but we do partner, as I mentioned, with various software vendors like QuickBooks and Xero and T-Sheets and various providers, as we see that our customers will find value from being able to integrate Gusto and their products. So we do offer that kind of based on what we're finding is a need for our customers.
Sure. So this next question is around setting up historicals, which sounds specifically like the historical payments that have been accrued or accumulated throughout a year. There's a couple options there. Gusto does offer migration services for our partners. This is a free service where they will handle the inputting of that data and inputting the pay stub information for each employee. Depending on where we are in the year, there's a certain amount of pay stubs that are required, but the goal is to have year-to-date information in place. So then when you would go and elect what unpaid tax amounts you would want Gusto to handle for a client, you would have a lot of options and flexibility based off of what the previous provider has or hasn't done. So sometimes we'll have partners do it directly in Gusto depending on the number of pay stubs required or the number of employees. But of course, we do have a team that specializes in this often time-consuming step of onboarding.
And we do offer for clients who have new employees joining, we offer employee self-onboarding, which Elliot also touched upon, where employees can go in and enter information about themselves. So that also saves a lot of time for our accountant partners, and they love that feature. I just wanted to clarify, someone was asking about if there's an additional cost associated with features like multiple pay schedules, or our autopilot feature by which salaried employees' payroll can just run on its own without anyone having to submit payroll. Those features are all included in that one monthly price. Just again, want to reiterate that you'd never have to pay any additional fees for any add-on payroll features, HR features, or our health insurance or 401k. offering. It looks like those are all of the questions that folks have. As I mentioned, I will be sending the recording of this webinar after the call. We really appreciate you joining us today. We love sharing our Gusto product with partners. And if you have any questions at all, you can email us at advisor@gusto.com. I'll also share that contact information in the email that I share with the recording.
Excellent. Really appreciate hosting everyone today. This is Sally speaking, of course, and looking forward to working together in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.